So our topic today is Stormy Seas, and it comes out of Matthew chapter 8. You know, in everyday life, we have our own form of raging seas or stormy things happening where we're buffeted by the winds and the rains of life. And, you know, we become very human, I think, at those times, and it's easy for us to forget where we're placed in terms of our spiritual life. That's pretty normal. And we end up in some fear, end up doubt, and we wonder what's going to happen to us. Well, there's a really interesting story. It's very short, but it's full of meaning. And it happens in Matthew chapter 8. And the scene is that we see Jesus is getting into a boat. And before he does that, though, let's be reminded that he has just done some amazing things. And his disciples are with him, and they've seen these things. I mean, we're talking about healing lepers. I mean, just amazing, mind-blowing miracles. But Jesus is tired. He decides they're going to get in the boat, and they're going to go across the sea. And I think Jesus wants to get a well-deserved rest. Well, right in the midst of their traveling, an enormous storm, an epic storm, happens, and that boat is being flailed every way possible. Now you have to remember, some of these guys are seasoned. You know, Peter, these guys are fishermen. They know how to. They've been in boats where things have been bad before. This is so bad that they're fearing for their life, and they are in huge doubt as what's going to happen. And they're mad at Jesus because he's sleeping. And now keep in mind, all this rocking of the boat and all this commotion, Jesus is not at least a bit affected. He's not awake at all. So they finally wake him, basically, and what ends up happening? He looks at them, and they say to him, "Don't you care that we're going to die?" That's pretty much paraphrased, but that's what their thought is. Jesus looks at them and says, "O ye of little faith." Now there's kind of tough when you're thinking, what trust, what faith? We're dying here. The boat's ready to sink. What happens? Once again, Jesus proves who he is. He turns around, raises his hands, and tells the storm to be quiet. Or in our vernacular, chill out. And next thing you know, immediately the seas are calm, the winds are calm. Now they look at each other and they say something, but still I'm thinking, guys, do you not get this? You're walking with him. You know what they said? Who is this man that he can command the winds and the waves and they obey him? Can you say God? The Son of God? That's who he is. And I think the reason he was a little bit frustrated with them was exactly that. They had seen so much. And so what's the takeaway for us here today? I think a number of us as Christians, if we've been walking any time with the Lord, we've seen a lot. Now they were with him, but we have something better today. He's living inside of us. Now I know when I think about that, that is just sort of a mystery. Yet there's parts of it I get. But he's living inside of us. And Ephesians tells us that the same power that raised him from the dead exists in us. So the next time we're tempted, when we're being buffeted, we're tempted to doubt and to fear, it might be a good idea to remember this particular story. That with a mere wave of his hand, Jesus can fix your issues. And I'm sure they're not as great as being buffeted by a boat, being tossed about, and getting ready to go into the sea. They may feel that way, but in Jesus' mind, that he's more than capable of helping you.